Today's episode is brought to you by Venmo. Look, no matter how your favorite team does this season, there's still one way to feel like a winner, and that's with Venmo. That's because when you use Venmo to transfer $50 or more to a DraftKings DFS account for the first time or the first time in 3+ months, you'll get $25 in DraftKings bonus credits. Terms apply. Just go to DraftKings.com/Venmo offer to activate your offer. Then choose Venmo to add funds to your DraftKings account, add $50 or more, and boom! 25 bonus credits will appear in your DraftKings account if you're eligible. This offer is only good through February 15th, 2026, or while supplies last, so don't fumble your chance before time runs out. Here's the deal. Venmo is a fast, easy way for you to add money onto DraftKings. And if you don't have a Venmo account yet, don't sweat it. You can download the app and sign up in minutes. So what are you waiting for? Just add $50 or more to your DraftKings DFS account with Venmo, and you'll get $25 in bonus credits. Go to DraftKings.com/Venmo offer and go get that bonus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY at 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. 18 plus in most eligible states, but age varies by jurisdiction. Eligibility restrictions apply. Void where prohibited. One per customer. Minimum $50 transfer from your Venmo account to DraftKings DFS account. $25 reward issued as non-withdrawable DK Dollars site credits that do not expire while rewards last. 20,000 total transfer redemptions available. See terms at www.draftkings.com/Venmo offer. Ends February 15th, 2026 at 11:59 p.m. Eastern.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugatz Podcast.
I'm curious, as before we get to Amin Elhassan and his weekend observations, with all of the analyzing that we do of football, all of the love that we have of transactions and player movement and when a team gets a star, what has happened to the Jacksonville Jags since trading for Jakobi Meyers is startling. They are a team that is running roughshod over people. They are not turning the ball over anymore. They have 18 touchdowns. Their offense is formidable and not to be questioned over the last 6 weeks. If you look at their losses over the course of this season, it's only against good teams. They've beaten a lot of good teams. Jakobi Meyers has changed the landscape of when we were talking about Daniel Jones, and they traded for Sauce Gardner. And we talked a lot about Sauce Gardner. Why wouldn't more people talk about Jakobi Meyers as a season-shifting, conference-shaping acquisition?
I think because the numbers aren't big. Like, you're really going in the weeds if you acknowledge what Jakobi Meyers has done, because it moves one player to the slot, and Jakobi Meyers is a better receiver on the outside than that guy was. Like, Jakobi Meyers, though, is not putting up big-time numbers.
No, but their offense is. It's 5.5 games since Thanksgiving, 18 touchdowns, 1 turnover. They've won 8 in a row. We only doubt them because no one's going to believe in Trevor Lawrence until he's done it. But what I'm telling you is over the last half of a season, he has. Mm-hmm. Like, it's not up for dispute. He's putting up statistically numbers that make their offense something that's rolling.
I think it's also easier to give the credit to Liam Cohen. I think that's probably the easiest thing.
Well, but we're doing the change of power in football. So Ben Johnson, the Chicago Bears presently have the best quarterback they've ever had. Caleb Williams almost got 4,000 yards. They're the only franchise in the NFL's history that has never had a 4,000-yard passer. They're set for the next few years because they've got a quarterback who can bring the last 2 weeks his team back from down 16-0, even if they've been farting around all game. Like, you've got 2 teams where the new young coordinator came and said, you know what, give me a stallion quarterback and let me show you what I can shape him into. And both of those teams are not only exceeding expectations, they're similar, and Jacksonville will not be believed in until after they've won the championship.
How much of a role does Trevor Lawrence's emergence, and granted, really in the second half of the season, which also coincides with Jakobi Meyers' acquisition, but how much does it matter that Liam Cohen is there now, and we see what's happened to Baker Mayfield this season in Tampa minus Liam Cohen? I think he's the difference maker.
I'm worried about this if I'm a Bills fan. It's a good team, and also the Jags, they occupy this weird place in NFL history where they have like this one outlier weird run, and then they're bad the very next season, but the run takes them all the way to the AFC Championship game.
I have made my assessments on what the top of that sport is based on watching what Seattle and the Rams have been doing and thinking that they're the best. But I would put Jacksonville's talent level, I would put in a class, and into class with them only because I haven't seen anyone do that to Denver at Denver this year. That's a defense that's crazy good. Like that defensive line is crazy good, and there were no answers for what Jacksonville took to Denver. Like that, Denver's supposed to have the best advantage in the AFC because they get to play a couple of home games and they get a bye, but they should be terrified if Jacksonville rolls into that. Even with Surtain back, they had no answers for Jacksonville, and he's the defensive player of the year.
I was really surprised at what Seattle did on Saturday night. Like, I thought San Francisco was going to win that game, and they hold, you want to talk about Denver's defense. San Francisco's been the hottest team in the NFL up until this weekend, and Seattle holds them on the road to 3 points.
Well, is Mike McDonald's record now 15-2 on the road the last 2 seasons? Is he 15-2 the last 2 seasons with a team that travels? But doesn't need the 1 seed because the thing with Sam Darnold, his QBR is not very good over the last few games. Like the same thing that people fear with Sam Darnold is the thing that can wreck this season, just like it wrecked Minnesota's last one.
Another storyline that's interesting for me is that if San Francisco can get out of the first round, Fred Warner's return is looming. He might, that as sick as it sounds, he might be back for them.
Amin Elhassan.
Whoa.
Per Adam Schefter, the Raiders have fired head coach Pete Carroll.
Wow, that's a big reaction from Amin. Look at that. He's joining us from a frozen tundra somewhere. You're surprised that Pete Carroll's been fired after going 3-14 and after yesterday's big victory in Travis Kelce's final game over the Kansas City Chiefs.
He delivered. They wanted the number 1 overall pick. They got it. Why'd he get fired?
Again, just a
'Cause they were
reminder,
terrible?
Atlanta Falcons fired Raheem Morris 2 years ago. Could have had Bill Belichick. Things change a lot in 2 years. Are you ready to do weekend observations? Before we do, I've had a question I've wanted to text you for the last 2 weeks, and I haven't done it, so I'm just going to ask you on air. Please explain why the Cleveland Cavaliers are regressing. Why is that team not at the top of the conference?
There's a couple of reasons. They've dealt with injuries, that's for sure, but even without the injuries, they just haven't played well, and really it's their offense. Their offense a year ago was stellar, and now it's simply good. Their defense has also regressed. They've gotten worse on that end. I think they're suffering from some depth issues as well. And Dan, if you listen to, I know you like rumors and murmurs and whispers, but feels like Kenny Atkinson might be wearing a little thin on some of the guys. He is a very demanding coach, and the rumblings are like, yeah, the guys are kind of reaching their limit to how much like they'll take from him. So
it's been 2 years. It hasn't even been them. And he reinvented them, and he got Mobley's usage rate in a place that made them good offensively.
Well, Dan, as we saw with Chris Paul, sometimes you can be right and still a jackass that nobody wants to be around. I'm not calling Kenny Atkinson a jackass, but I'm just saying like that is a possibility. You can be someone who is an irritating person who is also right.
I mean, Draymond Green got ejected again over the weekend.
Yeah.
Why does Steve Kerr look surprised every time?
I think this time they felt like it was a quick ejection. The thing was he got teed up, and then he kept complaining, and Kevin Cutler, he said something that made Kevin Cutler say, absolutely not, second tee, you're out of here. From the Warriors' perspective, I've told the story before, Rasheed Wallace not getting teed up because, quote, that's just how he talks. The Warriors' perspective, it felt like Draymond Green was just doing what he usually does, and that didn't rise to the level of a second technical. Having said that, Kevin Cutler is a really respected referee. He's not a guy who's emotional. He gives guys a bunch of leeway, and so for him to say absolutely not, get out of here, Draymond must have said something that crossed the line.
All right, kicking things off with Smirnoff, the official vodka sponsor of the NFL and the number 1 vodka in the world. Chris Cody, you're here.
Smirnoff!
Wow, you're on the money with Smirnoff.
Smirnoff!
Chris, you know what goes great with Smirnoff?
Smirnoff!
Yes, but I'm really talking about game day fit. The style's got to match the vibe.
Smirnoff!
All right, here's the deal. Game day is everything, and that's exactly why your fit has to match the occasion.
Smirnoff!
Starting this December, Smirnoff is giving fans 21 and over the chance to score limited edition Smirnoff commission merchandise from some of today's top creators, including Kayla Jones, Gavin Matthew, and Aleli May.
Smirnoff!
Here's the kicker. One lucky fan will take home the grand prize, a trip to the biggest game of the offseason. Plus, one fan will win Aleli May's one-of-one game day jacket.
Wow.
The merch will be dropped on select dates from December to January 21, and it's all courtesy of what brand?
Smirnoff!
That's right, Chris. Fans 21 and over can head to Smirnoff socials to learn how to sign up. And don't forget to grab a bottle of Smirnoff vodka, number 21 at your local retailer. Please drink responsibly. Smirnoff. Number 21 vodka distilled from grain, 40% alcohol by volume. The Smirnoff Company, New York, New York. Please do not share with anybody under legal drinking age. Smirnoff. No purchase necessary. Must be legal U.S. resident, 21 or older. Sweepstakes starts 12/15/2025 at 12 a.m. Eastern and ends 1/23/2026 at 11:59 p.m. Eastern. See official rules at program website. One of my big goals for 2026 is just less money stress. How about that? I've got a kid now, and I want to start a real travel fund, knock down some debt, and not feel like every surprise expense is a mini heart attack, which I've had about 11 now since the holidays. Managing your money doesn't have to be a struggle this year. Monarch is the all-in-one personal finance tool designed to make your life easier. It brings your entire financial life, budgeting, accounts, and investments, net worth, and future planning together into one dashboard on your laptop or phone. Start the new year on the right foot financially. After the chaos of the holidays, Monarch has been my full financial reset. I can actually see what I'm spending, set realistic budgets, and track goals I'll stick with past February. It even tells me what goals are doable based on our real numbers, which I desperately need. The weekly recaps alone keep me honest, even when I'm sleep deprived like the last 3 days. The baby has been absolutely insane, but Monarch helps me know that I'm financially okay. Monarch help users save over $200 per month on average after joining. This new year, achieve your financial goals for good. Monarch is the all-in-one tool that makes proactive money management simple all year long. Use code Dan at monarch.com for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarch.com with code Dan.
Hey, Jeremy, happy holidays.
Happy Chanukah.
I want to toast you. Actually, I don't. I will toast with you.
Okay.
We're coworkers.
Friends, you could say.
No, we cannot say that, but we both enjoy an ice-cold Miller Lite.
That's true.
Especially around the holidays. You know, it's the 50th anniversary of Miller Lite.
It's really amazing. Every time we say that, I can't believe it.
Well, it's crazy because, they've basically been partners with the Dan Le Batard show for half of their existence. Wow. When I put it to you that way, we got an old-ass show.
Yeah, we do. That's crazy.
Hey, let's look around at our friends, not each other, and our family, even though they're not here. I do miss your brother, though.
Yeah, I know. I'll bring him back.
And take that first sip. Look around and know that we made the right decision. When it comes to a domestic light lager, Miller Lite is the best. And it's a holiday season, as we mentioned. Why don't you enjoy that holiday season by drinking a beer that won't weigh you down? The original light beer since 1975, still hitting different 50 years later, brewed for flavor with simple ingredients like malted barley, rich balanced toffee notes, and that iconic golden color that you can see from across the room. The best holiday beers are the ones you don't expect. Miller Lite, great taste, 96 calories. Go to MillerLite.com/Dan to find delivery options near you. Or you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere they sell beer. 'Tis Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces.
Dan Le Batard.
Chris Cody does an impression. Just be careful.
Dangerous game here. This is a dangerous game.
I don't want to play this game.
No, he was saying, man, I could do such a great Kendrick Perkins.
No, I don't want to play this game.
He's like, man, I can talk just like him.
This is who we're going to trust
Amin,
with
you
this.
do it. Let's let Amin do it, I think.
Stugats.
I think you could do it, Chris, because you did a great Charles Barkley. You're 1 for 1 there.
Did no one just hear the segment we just did with Amin? We cannot be taking
judgment is not the best.
counsel from the local drunk on whether or not you should do the impersonation of a black man stumbling over his words. Like, you don't see the bad judgment in that.
There was.
Moses Moody? Moody Moses? Moses?
Don't.
Moody?
You need that. It sounds
Chris.
worse.
Be careful, man.
We cannot do this. It's too close to the line. This is where the line is. Something legitimately funny can't be funny because we're scared our ginger's going to do something racist by accident.
Carry the hell on, Dan.
Rachel.
Dan, the line is where we feel alive, though.
This is the Dan Le Batard show with the Stugats. It is time for
Amin.
to share his game notes. No one in the media will tell you what happened better than my boy.
Amin.
Weekend Observations is brought to you by Miller Lite. Legendary moments start with a light. Dan, holy shit, Mike was right. Holy shit. Mike was right. The Canes aggied the Aggies. They bucked up the Buckeyes. And now all that stands between them and the national title game is a school that thinks being proud of being on the wrong end of the war about slavery is somehow a cool thing. The Rebels. It kind of makes those 40-minute segments where Mike drones on and on about teenagers I've never heard of worth it.
Almost.
The Nuggets might be cooked. They lost to the Nets last night, who started some dude named Igor. Google told me it's pronounced Yegor and not Igor, even though it's spelled E-G-O-R. Gore. Google also told me that he was a lottery pick last June. Google further informed me that he started 23 games this season. Google is passively aggressively telling me I haven't watched a lot of Nets games this season.
Amin, Jokic should get another MVP. And this one's the clearest one of them all.
Specifically for this.
I mean, the day that the week we were off, the idea that he had 18 overtime points and went for 56, 16, and 15 the other day. There's never been a player like this.
They scored 30 points in 5 minutes of basketball. It was unbelievable. Incredible. The Finns almost made good on Greg Cody's preseason prediction. I won't lie, that first drive when Quinn Ewers was money on every throw had me hyped. I was like, holy shit. Mike Ryan was right about the Canes. Then I said, holy shit. Mike McDaniel is the quarterback whisperer. Then they turned it over on downs in the red zone, and they lost by 1 million points, and I thought, never mind. But Mike Ryan was right. The Giants, you had one job over the last 2 weeks of the season, and that was to be as bad as you've been for the first 16 weeks of the season. And somehow they blew it. All of a sudden, now they know how to play football. Unbelievable. To the elderly gentleman sitting across the aisle from me on my red-eye flight, I promise you, you don't need the brightness all the way up to max on your 65-inch screen iPad. Especially if you're using it to listen to music. Christ almighty. I felt like I was escaping Alcatraz and they had the floodlights on me. The Thunder lost their mojo.
What happened? They're 6-5 in their last 11, and we were talking. Zaslow was saying they were going to win 80.
They're not even going to win 70.
Remember that movie, Dan? Austin Powers? The Spy Who Shagged Me? Lost his mojo. That movie turns 27 this year.
Put it on the poll at Batard Show. Are you surprised that Austin Powers turns 27 this year?
What happened to Mike Myers?
What did
That's
happen?
a great question.
What did happen to Mike Myers?
I think he's just rich and chilling. It's okay to be rich and chilling. You don't have to be doing stuff all the time.
Put it on the poll,
aspire to be
please.
rich and chilling.
Put it on the poll, please, at Batard Show. Is it okay to be rich and chilling and not aspiring to do anything any of the time?
Shout out to Eddie the Mailman. Saw you at the Steve Nash Charity Soccer Tourney in Phoenix. Promised you I'd shout you out.
Why do you keep doing this?
Promptly forgot. But Elhassan always pays his debts. The Bills loving shit out of the Jets in their last game at Ralph. Afterward, their fans celebrated by shoveling snow or taking out the trash or some shit. I don't know.
Why do you say Ralph that way?
Because it makes me want to Ralph. Misconnection. You were the waitress with the pretty eyes and the locked-in gaze who served our table. I was the guy who was slurring the drink orders. Don't look now, but here come the Celtics. I'm telling you not to look now, but it's not because they've won 7 of their last 10.
Yeah, they look good.
Not because they destroyed the Clippers the other night behind Jaylen Brown's 50-burger. Not because they're 3.5 games back of the Pistons for the 1 seed in the East. I'm telling you not to look now because you don't have to look at all. Just close your eyes and listen to the whine coming from Boston. Holy shit. Mike Ryan was right. But holy shit. The persecution complex from these guys.
Tatum's coming back. Tatum's going to be back soon.
Nah, he's not going to be back soon. No, he's not coming back. But the other day, Jaylen Brown took to social media and his stream, he's a streamer now, Dan, to complain about not winning Player of the Month.
Please.
Player of the Month. He said, quote, no disrespect, no diss to Shea or Brunson, but neither one of them had a better month than I had. First of all, I wonder how good of a month Jaylen Brown would have to be SGA for Western Conference Player of the Month. In the words of Victor Maitland, that'd be a neat trick. Remember that, Dan?
Victor Maitland, that's a Beverly Hills Cop.
Yeah, here you go.
And that
he was a bad guy.
That movie's 40 years old.
Movie turns 42 this year. Second thing I thought of, we're whining about Player of the Month now? I worked for front offices for almost a decade. I worked in media covering the NBA for almost a decade and a half. I've been an NBA fan for about 4 decades. I promise you I could not name a single Player of the Month recipient a day after they announced it. other than the one that Hakeem won in 95 because he won Player of the Month while fasting the entire month for Ramadan. It's a crazy story. Feels like someone will make a sick documentary about that. Dan, loud wrong on the Panthers. Now I'm rooting for the only way you can be even louder wrong. If they somehow beat the Rams in the playoffs.
What a bullshit team that is. What a bullshit team.
This week on Cinephobe.
Watching you lose 16-14 in the rain to Baker Mayfield. Up my Saturday afternoon because I got to pay attention to you. Then you lose the game, but your season's not done because I got to watch Saints Falcons. Bleep you, Panthers.
This week on Cinephobe, we did 200 Cigarettes, a period piece vignette movie about New Year's Eve with a star-studded cast featuring Ben Affleck, Casey Affleck, Kate Hudson, Martha Plimpton, and Dave Chappelle. Fun fact, they shot it on location in the Lower East Side of Manhattan, and the lady who lived in one of the buildings where the location was protested the movie being made because she didn't like cigarettes. Cinephobe, wherever you get podcasts. And while you're at it, please check out Here's the Science, a bar rescue podcast. I saw Sing Song Blue over the weekend. You seen that movie, Dan?
No, I have not seen that.
Holy shit. Mike Ryan was right about the Canes. But also, holy shit, I did not know what that movie was actually about. Has anyone in there seen it?
I know what it is.
Okay.
I know what it's about, but yeah, crazy.
I don't think you know what it's about.
No, I do.
Incredible movie.
I know what the little twist.
Okay. All right. Incredible movie, yes. Great performances by Kate Hudson and Hugh Jackman. But I thought I was watching Saving Silverman and ended up watching Saving Private Ryan. Totally mismatched energy.
Wow.
Holy shit. Mike Ryan was right. Also, holy shit, war is hell. Speaking of hell, Art Briles, and those are the weekend observations.
Amin, thank you. Stick around here. We're going to keep going. I wanted to talk to you guys. We had not yet talked about it. The Panthers did beat Colorado yesterday. We have not covered the Panthers very much this season, but the Winter Classic was a bit of a disaster at Lone Depot Park.
Thank God I didn't go to that.
The ballpark that David Sampson built that is now home to some major events and usually doesn't rise up to the moment with what those events are, whether it's concessions, lines, whether it's fan experience. For some, how is it that ballpark has already gotten outdated for major events?
Well, I don't know that it was based on all the stories from like opening day back in 2012. It would never have been dated, right? Like this is always all these issues that I'm sure you'll explain here, Mike. 'Cause I didn't go. I'm glad I didn't go. This has always been the case.
By the way, I should mention the Rangers beat the Panthers 5-1. It's an outdoor game. The Rangers are dominant outside. The Panthers champions cannot win outside.
So I went to the Winter Classic. I was stunned at how expensive this ticket was.
Never dropped below 500 day of.
It was crazy. Shout out to Game Time though. I did find a good deal, like one sub $400 a seat ticket price, and I pounced all over it. Promo code Dan. But I've been to Marlins Park mostly not for Marlins ball games. I've been in like 3 Marlins ball games. I usually go there either for monster trucks or a concert, or the occasional World Baseball Classic, the worst day of my life, which was FIU Miami, and I went to this. And outside of the World Baseball Classic, there hasn't been one time where I come away with the feeling like, wow, this stadium operations gang has it together. Everything is a huge pain in the ass. The lines to get to the building, amateur, no order, no communication, people piled in like sardines, them directing themselves where to go.
Why?
Then for the Winter Classic, you're excited about all these novelty snacks that they advertise. Hard to find, signage next to nowhere, and then when you get to the lines, it takes you 40 minutes. I walked around the entirety of that lower level concourse looking for food. Everybody ran out. There was just hot dogs.
Hold on, they've actually run out of some food.
They ran out of food. They ran out of a bunch of food, and not just the novelty items. I went to get a cheese pizza. You think that would be readily available.
That's a popular item.
Not available midway through the second period.
I tried to rationalize to my boys because I told them we were going to go, but like tickets never went below $500. So I'm like, listen, it's a good thing we're not going. It's going to be a disaster. They never have enough concessions. And like they're like, what do you mean they don't have enough food? I go, I'm just telling you, they never have enough food.
No, I actually got an Uber pretty quick, which I was like pumped about that. And then I sat in that car for a good 40 minutes having not moved because the stadium is located where it is. They're infrastructural wise, like it's tough in the middle of Little Havana. But in terms of game ops, you control that. And I don't have a good reason as to why this place is always a disaster.
But outside of all of that, I thought there was a good buzz in the air. I'm not kidding, actually. Like, outside of, I agree with everything. Like, lines stink, don't get food.
You had the best
But
weather.
there was
the best weather in the United States was happening.
Everyone seemed happy at the beginning of the game.
It did feel like a celebration,
It felt like a big moment.
a festival of hockey.
Well, keep in mind the concept of block off the street because of player entrances into the ballpark, especially for the Panthers, who all came in a fleet of Ferraris.
Yeah.
So they blocked off the road for that.
Yeah, Panthers look stylish.
Marchand looks so good.
Seemed like we were more into that. The pomp and the circumstance in the actual game.
I enjoyed watching on
how
TV.
it looked in Miami. You're kidding.
Yeah.
Just how everything looked.
It was all.
I saw Barkov carrying that cup out for the Sally song with Role Model, and I'm like, okay, he's ready to go.
Well,
And Kachuk is
You think Kachuk could have carried it a little more? He's closer to being ready than Barkov.
And you mentioned saw them because you couldn't hear anything.
No. From the location Mike and I were, I saw Role Model performing.
Who's Role Model?
They play the Sally song.
I don't know that fool.
Yeah, I mean, they're like
it's that movie with Paul Rudd.
That's Role
on you.
Model.
He's had a big year.
Ben Affleck.
Role Models had a big year. They were a big group. I was excited to hear the song
be
that
that
I knew,
big.
and I could not. I'm not gonna lie, could not hear it. I saw a TV broadcast of it. You could hear it on TV from where we were standing, not that far from that performance. I didn't even hear music.
You know what I used to have for breakfast? Cocaine. You know what I used to have for lunch? Cocaine.
Here's a question. If you walked into a stash house and found it full of $20 million, how much would you steal? That's the question Matt Damon and Ben Affleck have to answer in Netflix's new movie, The Rip. They play a team of Miami cops alongside Teyana Taylor, Stephen Yun, Catalina Sandino Moreno, Kyle Chandler, and Sasha Kaje, all trying to decide, are they the good guys or the bad guys? This movie is an edge-of-your-seat thrill ride the entire time, keeping you guessing till the very end. Don't miss The Rip, only on Netflix on January 16th.
At Sierra, discover top workout gear at incredible prices, which might lead to another discovery. Your headphones haven't been connected this whole time. Awkward. Discover top brands at unexpectedly low prices. Sierra, let's get moving.
Don Le Batard.
You getting started on the breakfast flan?
Oh man, I've been singing a song to myself all morning long. Breakfast flan.
Stugats.
Have you never heard the breakfast flan
No,
song?
hit me with it.
Okay. I wish I had some breakfast flan. Breakfast flan. Where can I find a breakfast like that?
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugats.
The reason that I want to put a microscope on this particular event is because a South Florida champion was protecting and presenting a hockey heirloom in a really unusual part of South Florida for that to exist outdoors. It's winter. It's our coldest day of winter, but it was like 50 degrees, and it's absurd for us to have any of this in South Florida, made more absurd by the fact that the Panthers are two-time champions and they're rolling into the place with Ferraris. But they lost 5-1, and when Mike's talking about a otherworldly international stadium experience, he gives all this credit to Stephen Ross for doing that correctly every time at the stadium where F1 and the Dolphin disaster is. But this place was built by David Sampson, and it was never meant to have this many people in it because they'd only get this many people one time a year for opening day, and they'd run out of food then as well. This kind of event, our city and this particular haunted burial ground of a stadium where the Marlins failed to do things well until recently, or not even.
It felt like Copa America. That's the only worst experience I've had trying to get into a game and get anything at a game. And it was like the worst experience maybe in modern times because CONMEBOL was in charge of that.
For it to be on Calle Ocho, though, I mean, for it to be in a Hispanic neighborhood, Miami and South Florida were trying to show out that Dade County could represent well. And my guess is it looked great on television, it just wasn't great in person. It did look great on television.
I do have a question because in a situation like that, the Panthers are technically the home team. They control the gate, they get the concessions and all that. But they obviously, because it's not their building, they had to do a deal with whoever the Loan Depot, leaseholder is, whether it's the Marlins or the County.
There's a funny story about that too, because the NHL is really the home team here. The NHL handles, and so they deserve some of this blame too, because they should be more across the ops. It's not their first Winter Classic, but as part of the initial negotiation, remember they were supposed to build a Miami Live, one of those live venues there. The pre-construction's there, but the NHL and the Florida Panthers had no idea that the plans were going to be for that to be built during the Winter Classic. And I think it actually postponed the true construction of that project because everyone was like, what do you mean? You're going to have an active construction site at the entrance of our Winter Classic. All in all, just a bad experience. One that I always have over there, which is I never have a good experience in that building. And I love going to ballparks.
Because you only go when it's a huge event.
Correct, but I love going to ballparks. I can have a good time at a baseball game, sit down and just enjoy the ambiance. Everything from the seat color to the lights. It's just a garish-looking place. I don't like it. The ops are terrible. I can't say a good thing about it. Bulldoze it.
Well, you can't have Winter Classic at Hard Rock Stadium because it's within the football window.
Yeah, they should have punted this to Freedom Park was open because that place sucks.
Stadium Series, however, is the beginning of February. So you could probably have it there whenever the next time they have it.
No, they'll never be allowed to have it again.
What? Why? Come on, man.
You can't have it be a horseshit experience the one time it comes down here.
They have one coming to Tampa.
But remember the vibes.
Yeah, you keep saying that. You just wanted to celebrate your champion. You just wanted a reason to be the center of the sport again because your dad's T-shirts of McDavid being overrated are already selling in thrift stores.
I wasn't eating though. Daddy was drinking.
Yeah. But that's not the Panthers' fault though.
Yeah.
No one's putting this really on the Panthers. I'm putting this on the NHL and that ballpark. Here's the Panthers. I've been to plenty of Panther games. I don't have bad times at Panther games. I can get food at Panther games. I'm putting this at the one place that I always have a bad time at, and that's Loan Depot Park. Just because it's new doesn't mean it's good. It is bad. Start over.
You just said bulldoze.
Start over.
Yes,
it would be that start overing.
Gut it. It's
Has it
ugly.
ever happened that a stadium was bulldozed and they just built a new one?
It's ugly. Tear it apart from the insides. Build new stuff.
It's just blue.
No, it's awful. Like my eyes hurt in that place. I hate it.
Take it up with David Sampson.
I have.
Built
He knows.
the whole place.
He knows how I feel about that.
Did I just say start overing?
He said start overing, and he said bulldoze it, and there's no one reasonable around here. That stadium was just built, and it's in such a ridiculous place.
15 years ago now.
It's the only building I can think of where the surrounding, immediate surrounding environment has zero restaurants, zero bars.
There's a Wendy's. Thank you.
My apologies to Wendy. But that's the first thing I thought about the first time I went there.
Roy says there's a brewery somewhere in there.
Yeah, somewhere in the parking garage. They started putting people in there now.
But you see what I'm saying? It's like you got it hidden. Every other arena, stadium in the nation, you walk up and there's like a bustling commercial district.
Wait, I'm being told now they closed that brewery.
Oh, God damn it, man.
You guys not realize what happened here? Samson promised us an economy would build around that stadium in Little Havana, and there's a Wendy's.
Houses.
He lied.
There's a Wendy's.
Is Bull Bar still open?
No, but its bones are still there. What's crazy is the Orange Bowl gets a lot of this nostalgia because it was just the first thing where people would congregate and watch sports and had good memories, but it was a dump. But even then, you know what it was like getting in and out of the Orange Bowl. Even the in-game experience, concessions and all that, and getting in and out and logistics and no blocky, all that was a lot better run than this is.
Jeremy, can you look up for me, please, real quick, Bull Bar, the original critique on Bull Bar that on the internet there was a
great establishment.
There's a famous review of Bull Bar, which used to be on the corner of what used to be the Orange Bowl. It's a place of great criminal activity. I would say it is the heartbeat, the beating heartbeat of all of South Florida. That this place,
The criminal activity.
oh yeah,
Come on.
You had-
Criminal activity.
you
That's
had
people
to-
trying to get over, Dan.
I had to go through like airport security in order to get in there. The one time that I was there, the drinks were cheap, and The one review is famous on Bull Bar that
I believe Adam Smoot wrote it.
I just want people to know what Bull Bar was, because right next to the Orange Bowl grew.
Give us time. You're asking for a Yelp review of a place that's been closed for 15 years. We're working.
Has it been that long? 15 years?
And for me to know what he's talking about, like we're working on it.
To be honest, though, but where the bones stand, there's a massive, huge mural that says Libertad para Cuba, and there's like a Cuban flag, and there's like a whole bunch of stuff. So that's the place. If you're driving on 17th and Flagler, it's right there on the corner.
Welcome back from my brother's mural. I wanted to ask you a couple of different questions, because we have not talked about the Jake Paul thing that happened a while ago. Wildly unsatisfying. I thought if I was going to watch him get his jaw broken, I would enjoy it. I did not. It was terrible, and
I had fun.
He was crawling around on the floor, and then his jaw.
That part was tough, yeah.
And the whole thing was tough. He didn't belong. It's a dangerous human being to fight with. And if he cocks back his right arm and hits you in the jaw, and you're not a professional fighter, so your mouth is wide open because you're like, holy shit, here comes that punch.
Because you're gasping for air.
You're then on the floor.
At least we can stop with the conspiracy theory stuff, though. Now, right?
Okay.
Can we at least put that stuff?
Yeah, the cinder block that hit Jake Paul and broke his jaw in 2 places. We'll put that.
But unsatisfying though, right? Because you need him knocked out if that's how he's going to be hit. If it's
him sobbing afterwards instead of
he wants
taking
him out
it
cold is what he wanted.
But if you're watching to see him, if you'd asked me before the fight, hey, will it all be worth it if he gets his jaw broken?
Yeah,
I'd say
yes.
I'd say yes. And then I watched and I was like, not worth it.
Dan wanted him snoring in the middle
more
of the ring.
pain.
Just unconscious brain. Look, I wanted the brain.
A brain injury.
I wanted the brain to move through the liquid protective buffer that keeps it from the skull and hit the skull in a way that left Jake Paul not with his faculty.
20 seconds of fear where we're like, is he going to be okay?
Yeah. Yes.
That's what he did to Francis Ngannou.
And then he comes to and we're like, okay, he's fine.
Longer than 20 seconds.
To be honest, though, the shot that he took that did eventually knock him down and knock him out for the fight was a vicious shot.
Well, not only was it vicious, he went down to a knee, and I've never seen this before from somebody who just lost a fight with their jaw broken. He just said, wow. Yeah, man, what did you think that was going to, that's what that's going to feel like. If you take that, it's going to break your jaw. That's the way that's going to work. But the other thing I wanted to ask you about, Tony, is Aspinall. Is his career over? Like when you're just going straight to multiple eye surgeries and your dad's talking about the details of, we don't know if he's ever going to be able to see right again. You can't fight. You can't be, that guy's a legitimate champion, and I think he just had his career ended by eye gouging.
And that's the scary part, right? Like, he came back from a massive knee injury a couple of years ago where he tore his ACL on a return kick that knocked him out. He ends up getting back, storms through the heavyweight division, one of the best knockout artists we've seen in the division, and then fighting a guy in Cyril Gane who had his opportunity to be heavyweight champion, kind of faltered a couple times, and then in that fight where you think Tom is going to piece him up and knock him out and under the round, he's kind of getting pieced up by Cyril Gane, and then Cyril Gane goes in with the eye poke. Now, we're talking about a guy who's 6'5", 265 pounds in Cyril Gane, and his fingers are massive. So that finger went knuckle deep, and when it happened, a lot of MMA universe was saying, you got to tough that one out. All the former champions that have gotten poked in the eye, that have fought through poked eyes, have gone said, hey, or Chael Sonnen said it, hey, you got to finish that fight. Doesn't matter what's on the line. Doesn't matter if you can't see, you got to finish that fight. And now we're looking at 2-3 surgeries down the line of an eye thing. Like, that is a massive, massive situation.
You've got to take that back, right? I understand the fighting culture. I understand that they're all much more insane than I am, than we are. Like, you have to be crazy to do that for a living. But you have to take that back once the guy needs multiple eye surgeries, because it's not just an eye gouge. The man has been orbitally altered in a way that affects his vision for the rest of his life.
That's a great way to put it.
Orbitally altered.
Help! Digitally and
knuckle
orbitally.
deep. Listen to what you're saying. Go ahead and imagine. I understand that some of these things feel like
It's
they're not
an alteration of the orbital.
Go ahead. Or knuckle deep. Imagine someone else's hand going knuckle deep into your eye.
A very strong hand at that.
Amin, what was the fight? Did you enjoy yourself at the fight?
I had a good time. Me, Juju, Trista, Danny Benitez, a.k.a. Fake Dan. We had a nice time.
He ate spaghetti, right? I believe we have a photo of it. Yeah, there he is.
He ate the spaghetti.
Wait, is that Dan or Danny?
Unfortunately, as I foretold, Netflix wasn't as gung-ho to put us on their broadcast once they figured out Dan Le Batard wasn't there. It's kind of like the whole crux of it was that Dan would be there. And that's a funny joke. Hey, we sent fake Dan. Unfortunately, Netflix didn't fall for it.
Well, that's what it makes everything
what
ruined,
gave it away?
Amin, thank you. I wanted to bring up something regarding Netflix because obviously they're crushing it in sports. Whatever that Jake Paul thing was, I'm sure it was a monster success. Whether you liked it or not doesn't matter. Netflix is now in the live sports business. And on Christmas Day, they took football took basketball, took Christmas Day from basketball, even with crud games, like just terrible games, but football is king sport and it doesn't matter. And the thing that I wanted to ask you guys is they brought in, during the Cowboys-Commanders game, they brought in Emmitt Smith to talk to him during the broadcast for Dallas. And this is how bad Washington's been. Clinton Portis is who they had to go get the most legendary of Washington figures that can be had to talk about greatness in Washington football, because Washington football hasn't been great for so long. Your thoughts were what on how Netflix's broadcast did on Christmas Day as a first-time undertaking?
Yeah, thought it was good. I mean, it really seems that Netflix in the live sports game, the only problem they've ever had was the very first time they tried something, and that was with the Jake Paul-Mike Tyson fight. Ever since then, whatever, I guess, kinks there were, I think Netflix has done a terrific job with live sports.
This is the second Christmas Day for Netflix, right?
Yes.
I mean, what all of these streaming services are doing a great job making everyone else be better at the production of television events.
Yeah, I mean, it helps to have a bunch of money and the tech on your side. But
you've really fallen apart here. We're going to let you go. Thank you.
Yeah.
Wait, can you remind the people that I was right about the Miami Hurricane?
Appreciate you
right.
petering out man. That way. Yes, appreciate.
Before you go, just so you know, Mike Myers working on Shrek 5. That's what he's been doing.
Of course he is.
Counting money.
In production.
Just counting money.
Excellent dismount. I mean, appreciate the way that you ended that segment. Just sort of lingering, coughing, sounding sick, and generally uninterested malaise.
It's very cold where I am.
Here's a question. If you walked into a stash house and found it full of $20 million, how much would you steal? That's the question Matt Damon and Ben Affleck have to answer in Netflix's new movie, The Rip. They play a team of Miami cops alongside Teyana Taylor, Stephen Yun, Catalina Sandino Moreno, Kyle Chandler, and Sasha Kajay, all trying to decide, are they the good guys or the bad guys? This movie is an edge-of-your-seat thrill ride the entire time, keeping you guessing till the very end. Don't miss The Rip, only on Netflix on January 16th.